Greetings from the Rotary Club of Ciudad Sandino in Nicaragua, the second poorest country in the Americas and Caribbean. You may have heard about 2018's time of political unrest in Nicaragua. Although those difficult months affected the country overall, where we live and work, in Ciudad Sandino, one of Nicaragua's poorest areas located just outside the capital of Managua, things quickly became calm and daily life resumed. And so, if I was able to be with you today, I would be sharing with you, tell you about Nicaragua's resilience and what has been happening with the Rotary Club of Ciudad Sandino. My own day job, and that of some others in our Rotary Club, is with the Center for Development in Central America, a project of the U.S.-based nonprofit, the Jubilee House Community. Last year was an especially exciting year for us because it was the 40th anniversary of our nonprofit, founded in North Carolina to serve the poor, and the 25th anniversary of our work in Nicaragua. One aspect of our work was to help form a Rotary Club 7 years ago with the idea of connecting the communities we work with to Rotarians from around the world. We are a small club, just 13 members, but we work hard. For 3 years running, our club has been recognized for our work in innovation at a district level. In 2018, in spite of the political turmoil, we won the award for Most Inspiring Club in District 4240, which is made up of Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and El Salvador. So how do we serve our community? In peace, our club has sponsored Alternative to Violence workshops, which train 28 members of our Rotary Community Corps in how to help diffuse potentially violent situations, both in their communities and in their own families. In education, children and teachers have enthusiastically helped our club build and install safe, cheerful, and useful playground equipment in 2 rural schoolyards. Having safe play spaces is always important. Our global grant for extended daycare provides safe and educational support space as well as daily nutrition for 200 children. In water and sanitation, our club is just completing a global grant for potable water in 2 communities in partnership with the Santa Barbara Sunrise Club, the local mayor's office, and the local community water committee. An enormous labor-intensive project with 38,000 volunteer hours, more than 13 miles of pipe laid by hand, and an investment of $151,000 from Rotary International. We installed a potable water system for 576 families, providing 3,000 people with clean water in their homes. Many of our community corps lay health promoters live in these communities, and when conflicts arose recently as to how work should proceed, it was rewarding to see them put their alternatives to violence training to good use so that issues could get resolved and the water project work could continue. In healthcare, we do regular vision clinics, checking people's eyes, handing out donated reading glasses, and providing made-to-order distance glasses with modern frames at cost. And our third active global grant in dental health is to provide dental care, including dental hygiene training in local area schools, in partnership with the Nueva Vida Health Clinic, a project of the CDCA, begun after Hurricane Mitch devastated Nicaragua. The clinic has been in continuous operation for the past 20 years, committed to maintaining the variety of health services being provided, in spite of the enormous loss of regular clinic funding due to cancellations of medical brigades as medical volunteers chose to not come due to the high U.S. State Department's Level 3 travel alert, in effect for 2 years now, although we, on the ground, see that conditions are safe for travel, as well as now recently fear of any international air travel due to the coronavirus. In previous years, welcoming volunteers like our Rotary Global Grant dental partners greatly extended the clinic's outreach into the local areas and even into remote agricultural communities, and a return of these volunteers is desperately needed. So not only does our work in service to our community continue in spite of difficulties, but we are actually looking to take on more projects that address the changing needs identified by the Nicaraguans in the communities where we work. Our job as Rotarians and as the CDCA has been to try to figure out how to best support these local efforts, how to connect the world in the wake of the tremendous blow to Nicaragua's economy initially caused by the unrest. How can you help as a Rotarian? Partner with us on a project, large or small. Can you collect things for us? We need your old unlocked smartphones with chargers, please, and reading glasses for our current projects. We're also partnering with a newly opened cultural center in Ciudad Sandino that needs used musical instruments, as well as art supplies and Spanish language books for children preschool through elementary school. Do you have a skill to share? The Cultural Center is looking for folk who can give music, art, and language classes over the internet, or better yet, in person. Come, visit, and volunteer. How can your club help? Does your club have small amounts of discretionary funds? You can sponsor tire toys at more schools. Most public schools in Nicaragua are lacking playground equipment for kids. For just $25 per toy, motorcycle, tractor, elephant, climbing structure, we can make the toys from old tires, transport, install, and paint them. For just $300, we can equip an entire school. You can sponsor a vision clinic. Eyeglasses for both reading and distance vision are unaffordable for many Nicaraguans, resulting in struggles to see, headaches, and eye pain. For a cost of just $125 per clinic, our Rotarian volunteers will travel to underserved areas to see 50 patients, checking visual acuity and handing out reading glasses for free, and making distance glasses to order at a cost of only $9 to the patient. You can sponsor Alternatives to Violence facilitator trainings. Our goal is to train 25 people to be facilitators in the Alternatives to Violence popular education model. These facilitators would be able to carry out these trainings with other groups in Ciudad Sandino and around the country. For $1,200, we can do 4 3-day trainings to graduate 25 AVP facilitators. Do you want to work on a district grant? You can put in an aquaponics system. Thanks to our water project, 576 families now have access to potable water. How can they use that water in a sustainable way to further improve their families' lives? Fish and vegetables for their families with an aquaponics system. The system grows tilapia in a tank. Then its wastewater is pumped into grow beds where plants like tomatoes and peppers turn the water's waste and ammonia into nutrients while cleaning the water for the fish. Gravity feeds back into the fish tank. With this closed system, a Nicaraguan family can produce 50 pounds of fish and hundreds of pounds of vegetables every 6 months in their backyard. They can eat the produce to improve their diets, but they can also sell excess produce to supplement their income. Using a solar pump, the ongoing electrical cost to families will be minimal. It costs just $400 to set up an aquaponics system for a family. Our goal is to set up 20 systems and hire an agronomist to work with the families through the first 6-month harvest cycle for a total cost of $9,500. Just $9,500 to sustainably improve the long-term nutrition of over 100 people. We already have a club pledging $2,400. Can you help get us up to the 20 aquaponics system level? Is your club ready for a global grant? Then we also need your help there. Rotary Community Corps has prioritized the enormous need for proper sewage disposal in the community of Nueva Vida, formed 20 years ago after Hurricane Mitch. In that neighborhood of 12,000 people, families use pit latrines, with an average of 5 people per latrine. In some houses, as many as 30 people use one latrine. And some homes have no latrine at all. Homes have access to potable water. There is no collection system for wastewater. Used wash water from homes runs in the streets, creating a breeding ground for mosquitoes that carry malaria, dengue, Zika, and chikungunya. Last year, a case of leptospirosis was discovered in Nueva Vida, a dangerous disease carried through urine that highlights the fact that this community is at a critical public health point. And City Water Department are in full support of this project, but they have no funding with which to develop it. Step one, therefore, is to fund the necessary feasibility study. This study information can then be formed into a global grant request needing partner clubs. $1,500 to carry out the feasibility study. If you are interested in other aspects of healthcare, the Nueva Vida Clinic, out of which our Rotary Community Corps operates as lay health workers, has lots of exciting projects underway, which can all, of course, use partners. Agriculture is the base of Nicaragua's economy, but it is also the fourth country in the world most affected by climate change. The biggest part of that economy is coffee, which is mostly produced on small family farms. The U.S. do? We can help small farmers growing organic coffee in Nicaragua connect directly with those of us who love our good early morning coffee. Building on 20 years of successful partnership with one Nicaraguan organic coffee cooperative and expanding now to work with 5 cooperatives, using a new business model to directly import, roast, and distribute coffee. Percent of its profits to the cooperatives for use in community projects that improve quality of life. Our 3-year global grant will help establish this model through use of social media to educate consumers and market the coffee, roasting and shipping to monthly subscribers who receive freshly ground organic coffee delivered to their door. The project will help mitigate the effects of climate change for small farmers through establishing nurseries to grow a resistant variety of coffee while renovating 1,600 acres of coffee over the 3 years. Support direct connections among roasters, consumers, and farmers by facilitating educational exchanges to Nicaragua and reverse trips, bringing farmers to the U.S. The global grant of $64,000. In 3 years, we will expand sales to include 2,000 beneficiaries in Nicaragua, cementing these relationships in sustainability, doing what Rotary does best. Rotary connects the world. When we support Nicaraguans in rebuilding their country, we connect the world. When we bring Rotarians, teachers, students, and parents together to create safe play spaces, we connect the world. When we bring sponsoring clubs, local communities, and municipal authorities together to dig ditches and solve the urgent problems of water and sanitation, we connect the world. We connect the world when we act together. We connect the world when we are kind. We connect the world when we are generous. Nicaraguans are resilient people, but they can't do it without strong partners. Will you partner with them and with us? Will you help connect the world? Thank you. My cards on your tables, or my cards would be on your tables, but they're here on this screen, have the website for our Rotary Club where you can find links to each of these projects I've mentioned, as well as the website for my day job, the CDCA. We'd love to have you join us in our work in any way you can. Thank you.